Our segment 3 this evening. The Hells Angels, for a whole generation, have been known as a black-jacketed motorcycle gang with a taste for violence. Now, the police authorities say they have become far more than that, have gone into such money-making fields as narcotics and prostitution, and have made millions, using methods even more brutal than the mafia's. Brian Ross has investigated this, and here's the first of his 2 reports.
Saturday night, in Oakland, California, outside the Hells Angels clubhouse. NBC News made these pictures using a concealed camera with a special night lens. The Oakland clubhouse is a center for Hells Angels chapters all over the country. Some of the men who organized this chapter have been Hells Angels for 20 years. Young punks have become middle-aged punks, still racing their motorcycles through the streets, still fighting, still acting mean and tough, still ready to take on anyone who gets in their way. And now some gang members have found that just being a Hells Angel, having that reputation, is a way to make a lot of money. So it's not unusual to see Hells Angels driving expensive sports cars instead of motorcycles. The night we were filming, one Hells Angel arrived at the clubhouse in a chauffeured limousine. The chauffeur wore a suit. The Hells Angel wore his colors. Federal investigators say what's happened is Hells Angels have found they're tough enough to move into organized crime. And some Hells Angels have become big-time criminals and very rich. This is how it started. These are scenes from the motion picture Gimme Shelter, a documentary filmed at a California rock concert in 1969. Somehow, the Hells Angels were able to get themselves hired as security guards for the Rolling Stones, and the concert became a display of just how violent Hells Angels could be, beating spectators, seemingly at random. Despite this, the Hells Angels stayed close to a number of rock groups, and they began to share in the big money world of rock and drugs. This man, George Weatherin, is a former Hells Angel, now a federal witness against the Hells Angels.
The music was there with the drugs, and it just all interrelated. I mean, it became a kind of a society, and Hells Angels being accepted as a violent part of that society.
Weatherin says Hells Angels used their reputation for violence to build a drug empire.
Whoever you approached or threatened, they're not going to be affected by the threat of the Hells Angels when you were a Hells Angel. And the code is all on one. You know, Hells Angels always right.
And you made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Yeah, something like that.
And were there other Hells Angels who made just as much as you did?
Oh, sure. Probably a lot more.
These are pictures of a methamphetamine lab run by Hells Angels and Associates, taken after a raid last year by federal narcotics agents. Hells Angel member Bobby England was convicted of running the lab and is now in prison. Federal agents say Hells Angels have set up labs like this all over the country and now control the manufacture of speed in this country, a multi-million-dollar business. Very strong. Prosecutor Hugh Comiskey of Solano County, California.
They are a major criminal enterprise tied into other organized crime areas. I don't view them as just motorcyclists anymore. They have their criminal enterprise, be it narcotics or prostitution or what have you, flourish unimpeded because of the fear that attaches to the name Hells Angels.
In San Francisco, investigators say the Hells Angels' reputation for violence has helped them muscle their way into the city's big sex business. At this encounter studio, the Love Nest, now closed, Hells Angels ran the place and recruited girls to work as prostitutes here. 24-year-old Margot Compton was one of the girls recruited by Hells Angels. But she quit and agreed to testify against the Hells Angels. Her testimony led to the conviction of the Hells Angel who recruited her, Buck Garrett, who is now in prison. 2 weeks after she testified, someone found where Margot Compton was hiding, in this house in Oregon, and she was murdered. Also murdered, shot in the head, were Margot Compton's twin daughters, Sylvia and Sandra. Police believe the Hells Angels murdered the children and their mother, but they have no proof, and there have been no arrests. And police investigating the Hells Angels have been targets themselves. This detective was on his way to court to testify against Hell's Angels. A bomb went off next to his car, and he was seriously injured.
People do not testify against the Hells Angels, and people do not interfere with them. And it's very hard to penetrate them as a group, specifically because of that fear.
This is more than just a motorcycle gang. Authorities here, and in a number of other states, say the Hells Angels have become a national criminal organization, more ruthless than even the mafia. Now a federal grand jury is investigating how Hells Angels have made millions in narcotics and prostitution, and how they're using their money to move into legitimate businesses. More on that tomorrow night. Brian Ross, NBC News, Oakland, California.
Our segment 3 this evening, the second in a two-part series on the Hells Angels, formerly known for terrifying people by riding into town in black jackets and driving huge motorcycles. But legal authorities now say they have used their tremendous profits from narcotics and prostitution to buy their way and strong-arm their way into legitimate business. Here's Brian Ross.
This man is a member of the Hells Angels in Oakland, California. So is this man. And this man. And this man. But this Hells Angel is also a big businessman. His name is Johnny Palomar, also known as Johnny Angel. And this is how Johnny Angel Palomar looks without his beard. In a three-piece suit, after a recent appearance before a federal grand jury. The grand jury is investigating how Hells Angels have moved into a number of legitimate businesses, and Palomar is a target. One business under investigation is a $6 million a year industrial catering operation in San Leandro, California. A Siesta Catering Company. Palomar is listed as one of 3 partners in Siesta Catering, along with Manuel Rubio, a former Hells Angel, and Jake Sanchez, Palomar's cousin. In the 5 years that Palomar and the others have run Siesta, the company has had a spectacular growth. Siesta has its own food preparation plant and more than 100 trucks. Every morning, Siesta trucks head out for construction sites, factories, and shipyards within a 50-mile radius. Siesta now controls 95% of the lunch wagon business in the East Bay area of Northern California. Federal authorities say that's because Hells Angels have helped Siesta get more trucks with money made from drug dealing, and that Hells Angels have used strong-arm tactics against Siesta's competitors. One of Siesta's catering competitors was burned down to the ground. Arson, still unsolved. And 2 other companies sold out to Siesta following threats and a bombing. Authorities believe the Hells Angels have helped Siesta, and Siesta has helped the Hells Angels. For example, when 11 Hells Angels were indicted on attempted murder and narcotics charges, they were able to raise more than $3 million in bail in a few days and were freed, leaving in a limousine. These documents, copies obtained by NBC News, show the 3 Siesta partners were instrumental in raising the $3 million bail for the Hells Angels. On the advice of their lawyers, none of the 3 Siesta partners would talk with NBC News. Joseph McNamara, the chief of police in San Jose, where Siesta now does business. Why would the Hells Angels want to go into the catering business?
It's a cash business. It has great appeal in terms of low visibility. It provides movement, it provides jobs, and in fact, we are increasingly concerned that it may provide a vehicle for dispersing drugs as well as coffee and donuts.
This man probably knows more about the Hells Angels than anyone. He is Sonny Barger, who helped organize the group 21 years ago, and is considered by many to be the most powerful man in the Hells Angels. In his first interview since getting out of prison 2 months ago, Barger said few of the charges against the Hells Angels have been proven.
We're mostly a bunch of happy-go-lucky guys trying to make it in this world, you know. We're a little different. We ride motorcycles, and, you know, we don't wear suits very often, this and that. And we're seen by the public, and when the police say these guys are killers, these guys are dope fiends, these guys are dope dealers, this and that, it's probably not too hard for the public to believe because they see us standing out from the rest of the population. But as far as any truth to it, I say there's no truth to it.
This is Barger's house on a quiet street in Oakland.
'Cause I'm stuck in Folsom Prison and time keeps dragging on.
Barger spent 6 years in prison on a narcotics conviction. Now he says he wants to live here with his wife in peace, and that few Hells Angels are really looking for trouble. But California and federal authorities say Barger is putting on an act. The authorities say members of the Hells Angels travel from chapter to chapter, around the country and around the world, working together in criminal enterprises, narcotics, prostitution, gun running. The Hells Angels began here in California more than 30 years ago. Law enforcement authorities used to worry that the Hells Angels would get drunk, ride their motorcycles through a small town, and take it over. Now they're worried that the Hells Angels are more interested in taking over legitimate businesses. And a federal grand jury is hearing evidence that the Hells Angels, operating out of this clubhouse, are using arson, murder, and money made from narcotics to build and protect a sophisticated worldwide criminal organization. An organization interested in a lot more than just motorcycles. Brian Ross, NBC News, Oakland, California.